I don't really know what to do right now, so I'm gonna talk this out. I, I just need to capture something about this moment. So this is a journal entry about the life of a musician, the life of an artist, somebody who has a vision, is also aware of the gap between themselves and that vision, because it's always there to a degree. But today it feels like maybe that gap is in a place that I could be happy with, instead of it feeling like this, like here's where I want to be and here's where I am. It feels like I'm meeting that in terms of my recording journey. Like I'm getting there. This is a milestone, and there will be more. That my vision will get higher. But since the beginning of my recording journey, never have I recorded my guitar and felt like that's what my guitar sounds like. Never. It's always sounded like, I mean, those are the notes that I play, but that's not my sound. That's not what it sounds like to me when I'm just sitting down and playing. And I knew that there were a couple limitations to that. One was just my knowledge. One was also my discipline. Like, I knew there was a lot of experimenting I needed to do with like how to set up mics, where do I put them, what's the room like, just miking technique, that there were some gaps in the work that I was willing to do. I felt overwhelmed by it, but I really never set my mind all the way to the issue. The other limitation that there was though was the tools that I have. It's hard to realize the difference until you work with better tools. It's hard to realize what you don't have. It, when you're starting off building a home studio and your budget is limited, which it's still limited for me, but when I first started off, like there's an amount of money that you're like, nah, like there's no way that I actually need to spend that much on recording. And it's true, at first you just need to learn the process. You just need to record. You just need to do it. But you see these like $1,000 mics and preamps that cost hundreds of dollars, and monitors and headphones and matched stereo pairs of microphones. You're like, why is that necessary? It's hard to fathom it, but there's an understanding that okay, there's probably another level, just of investment that goes into this. And here I am at almost 32 years old, and finally have bit the bullet and bought some things that it seemed would bring me to the next level, and they actually did. So I made one big purchase last year, which was a tube microphone, and that's after getting that microphone, that was one of the first times I ever heard my voice and thought, that's what my voice sounds like. That is actually what I sound like. And then I bought a preamp, which livened up what that microphone was picking up and added some clarity to the sound that I was getting. But still, my guitar had never sounded exactly the way that I knew it should sound. It never sounded like like it does to me when I play. But I bought a stereo pair of Soyuz microphones, and what that allowed me to do is start experimenting with the stereo image. So that's miking your guitar with two microphones, so that you can pan those left and right and make the sound of the guitar a little bit bigger, give it an actual stereo image. Like, we hear things with two ears, right? Obviously. So when you use two microphones that are the same microphone and built together side by side, they function more like our ears sound. And I finally invested in a pair of those. And tonight I've been spending time researching the best configurations. How do you set those up? And there's so many ways. It's like, you would think I can just set a mic pointing here and set a mic pointing here, this, and it's gonna be fine. But like, that's not true. There's phasing issues. The way they pick up is overlapping, and that can cause problems if you don't do it just right. So there's a certain distance they need to be compared to the distance they are from the instrument. But you could also try this, and that's supposed to fix some of the phasing issues. But then you can also try this, 17 centimeters apart, 110 degree angle. Then you can also try that farther apart with different angles. Then you can try this, a certain angle. And then you can try this. And you can try this. You can try from over your shoulders. You could try a mic here and a mic over here. You could try a mic here and a mic over here. It's a lot to process. How do you decide which one of those you like the most? And the answer is, you have to try it. You have to get your hands dirty, and you have to actually listen to the difference. You have to make a lot of test recordings, and you have to read up, and you have to say, well, why 17 centimeters? Why this angle? Someone's done a lot of math. That's the answer. Someone's done a lot of math, and a lot of listening, and a lot of experimenting. And then you have to do some experimenting to try to tap into what those people were doing, the people that come up with those numbers. You have to see it for yourself and hear it for yourself. And that's the work I've been doing tonight, which is work I've been needing to do for a long time. But I have the tools now. I've worked to have the resources to be able to get those tools. And about 15 years after the start of my recording journey, I sound like I'm doing my sound justice as a producer, to my songs that I write. Those are such different roles, and I was also always way ahead as a writer, way ahead of where I was as a producer. But now they're meeting. Those two journeys are meeting at a place where they feel matched. I just sat here and listened to just a test recording of a song that I've tried recording so many times. I've recorded it 3 times before, and each time I've been like, I don't know, it sounds a little thin. Don't like the texture. I don't like the high end. The bottom end is muddy. I don't know. There's something was off. Today I sat here and played it through the speakers and thought, wow, that's how I sound. And I don't know how to process this. It's a major checkpoint. It's a huge checkpoint for me. And now I can offer that to myself, but that also means I can offer it to other people. It means if somebody has a sound, I can capture that sound and not feel like I'm compromising. I have value that I can offer somebody, the skills and the tools, because I've put in time that is hard for people to put in. Not everybody makes the time or gets the time or makes the investments that I've made. And I've had a lot of help. I've had a lot of encouragement, and I don't know. This just feels important. I just wanted to take a moment before I go on recording more songs happily, just to reflect, because I feel moved. I feel like this is just it's really important. I also didn't know, so I think sometimes we have blocks, and we might have like an idea that block is there, but until you actually move through it, you don't realize how much was holding you back. And I was feeling held back by, like, I wasn't recording much for a long time. For a few years now, it was very sparse, and that's because I knew there was another level that I had to, like, do my writing justice. So that was my block, but it was rightfully, I think it was rightfully there, because I knew that, like, this was possible, and until I was here, that there was something I wasn't getting out of recording that I could be getting out of it. So anyways, I'm really happy. Yeah, I don't know if anybody will watch this or care, but it's okay if you don't care as much as I do. I could be the only person in the world that cares, and I'm gonna go on caring. And that's new for me too. I used to kind of only allow myself to care about something if I felt like enough other people cared too. If enough other people wanted me to do it, then okay, I'll go on doing it. But no, like right now, like, if I was the only person who cared about my music, that would be enough. But I know it's also true that other people care. But now the most important person to care, myself, cares and believes in what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go do it. It starts right now.